Hey everyone, I'm up at the Bonsai Oasis. I've got the fence to work on, I've got trees to put in the ground, and I've got a new water system to test out. Well, it's not really new, I just got a couple of sprinklers to see if I can get Zone 2 working. Welcome to Bonsai Acres.
My latest trip up to Bonsai Acres was actually on a Sunday evening. I had a couple of things to do both on Saturday and Sunday, but got up here right around dinner time, 6 o'clock p.m. Now, besides my boxwood that I still would like to get to on this trip, we'll see if Dave takes enough rest to do that. But then there was this contraption. I had to make sure that I could get my forest on a slab out of my car by myself. Now, my buddy Mark and Alan helped me to put this into my car a couple days earlier. This thing weighs over 100 pounds. So what else do I have but a couple of 2x4s? Now the fun continues with this big contraption. What in the world? It looks like I'm carrying a stiff, dead body out of the back of my car. Well, it is a body, it is stiff, but of course it's not human. Yeah, so more on this guy a little bit later. He does look like a relative, and I think he might have to, stand watch over the trees. Yeah, we'll touch base on this guy in a little bit. Now, one of the things that I did on this trip to get ready for this gate to be completed was I wanted to build a shelf, and I had a lot of staining to do before I completed the shelf. So rather than to show you all the staining, kind of like watching dry paint, I thought I'd finish off this with a little bit of super duper slow motion for you to watch me put on the final touches of stain in the middle of the fence on that top board. So back in the day, my dad carved statues out of tree trunks from up at the cabin. This was my gift because I was into sailing. He kind of looks like my Uncle Jim. Now, he gets to be the keeper of the trees. Back at work, I had to create a little shelf on this side of the fence because I wanted to put some trees that are in bonsai soil up high off the ground. I wanted to have a little bit of a shelving system, not all trees in the ground. So I had those 3 extra posts, if you remember from last time, when Toby and I built the fence. Well, these 3 extra posts would be exactly what I would need to add a corner post, a center post, and then a center post along the fence line to make myself a shelf. Now, all this work was happening on Monday, actual Memorial Day, and it was a hot one. We got into the 80s up here. I put some more holes in the ground, put some trees, lilacs here to get going. These are small ones that run discount for $5. So triple root bonsai, my buddies Alan and Mark and I picked up 10 of these to put in the ground up at Bonsai Acres to get all thick for some people. Maybe in a couple years, a couple Little Miss Kim lilac trees will be bonsaified, perhaps in your collection. I also got some mulch to put that around the ground too to keep holding that moisture in while I'm not here. And we have a dry spell coming up, couple weeks without any rain according to the forecast. good watering, the new trees, we're good to go.
I'm taking a break from all the action. I've stained some of the shelf system. I've put some trees into the ground. It's probably 80 plus degrees. Nice breeze to keep me cool though. But I need to test with the sun so high in the sky. I need to check zone number 2 to sprinkle the trees that are going to be on the left side or the right side now, up on top. Now it's going to be my succulents. Now sometimes I water my succulents, my Portulacaria afras, every day in the summer, but they don't really need that much water. So I think I might put that sprinkler on every other day or maybe every third day. And so those will be for the trees that don't need quite as much water. The other ones every day. How am I going to test this? Well, I need to use both zones on my rain point system. So as many of you may know, the rain point system has 2 zones. I've been using zone 1. So today, I'm testing zone 2 on some new sprinklers. Now that the hose is hooked up to zone number 2, we're good to go, but the hose, having water come out, is not what I need to know. I need to know what sprinkler system is gonna work. Now the one I currently have kind of oscillates, but it doesn't really oscillate consistently. So I went to the store before coming up to Bonsai Acres this time and bought 3. Yeah, not 1 or 2. But 3, they were under $5 each, and I just don't know which one's gonna work the best. So let's run a little test. Here we have the test subject for today. So this was like $3 or $4, and it's just a little piece of metal with, you know, like what's at the end of your watering can. And it's just gonna shoot up a stream. Now, depending upon how much power, much pressure is on this hose, zone number 2, we'll see how high it goes, and that's gonna be a good one for water section number 2. This next one is an adjustable an adjustable sprinkler on a spike. Now the spike isn't perfect because I don't think I want this on the ground, but I could wedge this between 2 of my boards up on top of my new shelf in fence number 1 area. But either way, we'll hook the hose up there, and there's the sprinkler system, and now it has a 360-degree adjustable rotation, and yeah, I can rotate it for spray direction. So I can maybe direct it where I want it to go. And the last one, all of these, by the way, $3 or $4 each. So I bought 3, you know, because I just could. And the last one is a Tourette lawn sprinkler. Yeah. Now look at all these little symbols here. This thing has the capability of doing 6 different spray patterns. So I can shoot it all one way, or all 360, or maybe a quarter of the way. So we're gonna test that one out, and that one out. Well, let's get it going on.
Just as I was ready to do my experiment, my audio went kaput. So let me walk you through this as best I can. So the first one was the metal one. I clamped that onto the hose and got into my app to turn on zone number 2 to see if this could provide good watering system for that new right side shelved area of the fence area. And there we have liftoff. Now a little sloppy at first. It was windy, so it was blowing towards me. Didn't go very far, maybe a couple of feet right and left, but you can see nothing to our left as we watch this, more to the right. But as I was facing it right and left, or in this case front to back for you and I watching this, yeah, it got a couple of feet out, but I don't know if this one is going to work so well. Sprinkler number 1, the cheap, just metal piece, not a lot of pressure down there with that hookup, and I think we'll have to move on to the next one, number 2. Now, number 2 is meant to be put in the ground. It's got a stake down there, so I have to figure out how to attach it to the area, and maybe just in the ground by the trees. But we're going to go ahead and turn on this now with the app, and go ahead and do a manual start, and see how the spray is going to be on this one. Now, you can go 360 degrees on this one, and you can also limit it to go maybe only just about 180 or less, so very directional in how the water may come out. So let's see how number 2 fares when the water goes on. It was closed, so I had to open it up. It'd be nice if I could read directions, although there weren't really directions on this one. There you go, I opened it up all the way, and 360 degrees there. That's a pretty nice little spread right there. Probably 6 feet in diameter all the way around. But were the trees right underneath it getting wet, or just way on the outskirts? And again, I could close this one off to make it more unidirectional, 180 degrees, maybe just 90 degrees, instead of 360 like right here. And finally, this was the cheapest bit of plastic, but look at that thing go right from the get-go. A little bit more pressure on this one based on the 6 choices I had on this one. There are 6 different ways I can go. I can go all the way around like this in 2 different modes, but then as I twist it around, you've got a higher spray all the way around, and you got a couple other designs. You can go all to one side, again 180 degrees, and then maybe even closer to 80 or 90 degrees worth of water, and really put this in a good direction. As I walked around this one, yeah, we're talking a good 10 feet in diameter. Things were getting wet. But again, mainly on the outskirts and not right directly under it. That remains to be seen. So with these three, which one did you pick? What do you think I'm going to use for the trees underneath that new shelving area back there on fence number 2? If you guessed the third one, that is correct. I set that one up a little bit later on. You'll see it in a little bit.
So as I wrap up another short day and a half or so up at Bonsai Acres, I put the sign up on the left side of the new fence, and we got a lot of new stuff going on. Ooh, nice breeze there. So I've got some portulacarias here, and I got some of my cuttings from Nathan. They'll be kind of in the semi-shade underneath the new shelf that's been stained this weekend. Yes, it's Memorial Weekend. Happy Memorial Weekend to everybody, a little belated. You're not going to watch this on Memorial Day. A big thank you to all the folks, men and women, who have served our country and give us the freedoms that we have to enjoy hobbies like this. All the bonsai trees and bonsai soil still doing fine with the sprinkler set up there. And then now there's where I placed the new sprinkler that we talked about earlier. So got some trees in the ground today. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of discounted Little Miss Kim lilacs. We got 10 of those with triple root bonsai. Put them in the ground to get all thick and big. And then these 2 lilacs I got in the ground too. This one's not blooming quite as fast, but it's there. That one started to take off. We had some blooms on there. A little damage from planting them this weekend, but they're gonna be just fine. I got a tomato bush here. Oh, and there's my Uncle Jim. So the story on this is my dad did some carving with chainsaw back in the day, and he carved this for me because I liked sailing. And it looks an awful lot like my Uncle Jim. So I always affectionately called him Uncle Jim. And he's going to keep an eye on all the trees for me. Got some willows into the ground as well. Those are all alive from the last year sitting in boxes. And of course we did the larches last time I was up here. We've got black tarp through and through, some mulch around the trees. Life is good here at Bonsai Acres. I even got my forest up here. Now, my forest with the birch trees, you can see, well, you know, the beavers keep getting at them. Lost a couple trees, the beavers have chopped them up. We've got a couple that are alive. We got a whole bunch of suckers down there. I don't know if it's going to make anything in the near future because this is going to take forever. But this kind of growth right here with these birch, you know, 3 years or so. So we might be okay. And then the maples are still alive on there. But that's my forest on the slab. It's looking great up here. I'm feeling really good. A couple of doors away from having this complete. And then turning in a permit to start building the old cabin. I can't wait for that. Time to wrap up Memorial Weekend work up here at Bonsai Acres. We'll be back soon to make sure everything's watered because it's going to be a dry couple of weeks. And who knows, y'all, maybe you'll be up here sooner than you think. Until soon. Welcome to Bonsai Acres. Very excited.